I'm going to do a quick video of the screen and show you a couple of different things that I do to make it easier to work with sign images. The first is the 3 different ways of making a screenshot. You can do Command, Shift, and 3, 4, and 5. So the first is Command, Shift, 3. Takes a screenshot of the entire screen, and you can see in the lower right corner it shows up there temporarily, and then it will save to the desktop. If I do Command Shift 4, I then get this little target, so then I can select by holding down on my mouse and moving it across, and it will just take a screenshot of that area, and then it'll go off screen. And then Command Shift 5 is my favorite for these kinds of things. So it just makes a square or a rectangle that I can then change the shape and size of and move around. So if I only want to take a picture of this small area, then I can just click that, makes a grid, resize it, and then push return, and it takes a picture of only that. So if you had a doc, a PDF, anything, you can just take a screenshot of that. Of course, you can always get images from the internet and just do the copy. So now I've got these 3 different screenshots. This is how it'll be labeled. So like you can see up here, I have one that I've already titled the name of the sign. So I can just change the name of that by double clicking on it to, I'm just going to make them 1, 2, and 3. Now if I've taken a screenshot, I can open it in preview, and then I can alter it. Sometimes I'll put something to block out, so I'll make this an all white box. So if there's something, if it's a white background, if there's something I need to block out, I can just move this rectangle and change the size of it to block out, let's say these last 2 letters are something that's on the screenshot I had to take that I didn't want on there. And then I can also add in a text box, and again it's white because usually I have dark background, but you can change the color and all of that. But if I need to add information, I can type in, move up, if there's a movement in there. And there's also other things in here that I can play around with to add like arrows, and so if there's a movement in it, again I can change the colors of this by playing around. I can make it different thicknesses, and I can make this black, so I can make an arrow to show the movement of a photograph if I don't have an actual drawn image. So then that will save like that, so I can make a picture be what I want it to be. Now, let me just go to my drive, because I use all Google Drive, G Suite, instead of Word docs, but it would work very similarly. So I'm just going to open up a blank Word doc and show how I do it in Word, but it would work if you're using Microsoft Word as well. So wait for this to load. I'm just going to give it a name real quick. All right, one thing you can play with initially is, why aren't you saving? You're being a brat. All right. I jumped the gun. It wasn't happy with me. So one thing you can play with is page setup and the margins. Just because it wastes a lot of empty space, you can go down to 0.5 or even 0.2 just to be able to not have as much white space. From there, I can do insert table. I don't like to have more than 4 pictures across, so between 3 and 4, sometimes 5, but usually 4, and then I'll just go down to however many I want. Up to 20 is what's allowed. But then if I do a right click or a double click, I get this other menu, and I can say insert row above, row below, column left or column right. So if I need more, I can add another row below. I can also select multiple and insert multiple rows below. So I can get that as much as I want. One of my favorite things to do now is to select, which is holding down or use the shift and select all, and then do Command, Shift, and E. It's a quick way to just do the same thing you're doing up here with changing the alignment to center. It's just easier to have the pictures and everything. So if I'm going to do a sign for, let's say, milk, I can type the word in this box. I can go up here to insert image from the drive, and it will pull up my drive, and then I can type in the word milk. I can type correctly, there it goes. And then it will show me the pictures I have. This is because these pictures are already in my Google Drive. So I'm going to select this one, and I can say insert down here by clicking on that, or I can also just drag it over and drop it in, and it will automatically size. Now if I were to put in multiple pictures that are all different sizes, you'll see that now this is uneven. So one thing I might want to do is click on this photo and just in the corner scooch it up so everything looks a little bit nicer. And this guy has a line on the top of him, so one thing I can do here is double click on him and crop it real quick. Just I double click, move the line where I want it to be, and then push enter or return. And you can see when I click away, now it cut off the top part of that photo. If I change my mind, I can double click and I can just go back and fix that. But that's one way to kind of clean up the image if there's anything around it like that. So that is basically all I do. The other thing you can do, of course, is if you go onto Google and, type in ASL sign for, let's stick with milk because why not? Then I can just look in the images and I might be able to find one if I don't already have it. So let's take this gal's because she's got them everywhere. I'm just going to double click copy image, and I can put that in here with Command V, or I can also just do 2-finger click on my mouse pad or right click and do paste, and he'll put it in there. Can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Oh, the line difference though. You can move the lines back and forth, and you can also come up here and change their thickness down to 0. So if there's if you want to remove the line from being visible, you can also make it not a solid line. Just being on 0 so you can see it. So if you want to differentiate those, I just keep them all in this basic grid, but you can play around with those settings as well. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, let me know, and I hope this makes your life a little easier.